Hello, this is Cotton Stoops and today's HTUC video is on Kirolen. I'm surprised I haven't done a video on Kirolen yet, but Kirolen is still a pretty good Lumion to use if you want to have fun in Lumion Legacy, so why not talk about it? In today's video, we're going to be talking about how to use and counter Kirolen, from the counters and checks and teammates that you'll need to know in the battle, as well as the roles and sets and the offensive coverage Kirolen you will need to know whenever you're trying to use it in any other teams. Today's video is all about how to use and counter Kirolen. So the role that Kirolen plays is an essential question to ask, and we can answer this with its base stats. Its base stats are really simple, where its defenses are really low, all being below 70, and its HP, while is decent for an offensive Lumion, it is made much more lower with its very low defenses. Its range attack is 73, so it is very obvious to not use that stat. However, your energy is okay, it will let you use some strong moves consistently, which is nice, and its speed stat of 82 is admittedly okay, but this gets outsped by a lot of Lumions in the OU tier. And its melee attack stat of 137, this is one of the highest stats in the game, which translates very well into Kirolen's role as a strong wall breaker. Do note that Kirolen will need pivots or just double switching in general because it is very slow and frail, and without Kirolen and many others, Kirolen without the support is just pretty bad. So make sure you team build correctly. So with that out of the way, let's talk about Kirolen's offensive coverage. Kirolen's offensive coverage will be pure ancient, and it can hit ancient and other spirit types super effectively. Spirit types like Revenine and Harvesect are great spirit types to hit, as well as the after-mentioned Vesperatu and Ursul, and other ancient types like Kirolen and Obsidragon will be great ancient types to hit super effectively. Two resisting types will come in with Light and Metal, as light types like Namare, Valkyrie, and Luminami are ever so present in this metagame, as well as the metal types like Stratosaur and Tyrex. So with that out of the way, let's talk about Kirolen's set. Kirolen's Hasty set will be utilizing the ability Hasty, so we can hit as hard with our melee attack stat as possible. Devious is an okay ability to run, but if I were you, I would just do as much damage as possible. And the personality will be Brawny, Nimble, very clumsy. While we do want to hit very hard, Nimble will be especially useful for us, as this will help us boost our low speed stat. And of course, very clumsy to lower the stat we're not using. This will be the move set. This will be running 4 moves, as Kirolen doesn't really have much time to set up, and for the times it will set up, it usually will die because it will either take a hit or the opponent goes into something that either completely walls Kirolen or threatens out of the battle offensively. And the TPs, the melee attack will be maxed out, as well as the speed stat, and the 60 energy will let you get up to 250 energy. This is all pretty standard, and the HP is 40. Based on the move, or not the move, but on the name, this will be utilizing Boots, because with Boots you will be outspeeding a lot of Lumions on Nimble. You won't be outspeeding much compared to a Nimble Halvantic, but you do have that potential to outspeed a lot of the metagame, which will help you mitigate your low speed stat. So with that out of the way, let's talk about the counters and checks, as well as Kirolen's teammates. Offensive counters and checks for Kirolen is very simple, as you only really need to run ancient types like the Cosmere and Cracked and Unleashed, Darogo, Zuelong, and Volcaloa. Light types like Eclipse and light type moves coming from Flash and Flee Zikazune, and Ferroglyph with Shrewd Blast. However, defensive counters are a lot more harder to use, because usually Namare, outside of that answer, none of these guys want to take hits, specifically Luminami, as while it does have the light type coverage to hit Kirolen super effectively, it doesn't want to take these hits over and over. The same goes for Barblast, as Barblast will need to sacrifice a turn to heal, and this usually means free momentum for the opponents. And finally, the offensive and defensive teammates. This is pretty simple, as you would want to run Lumions that can pivot in and out of the battle, such as Nemare, Icicle, Yursnack, and Luminami. And Shachi and Halventic, Lumions who can abuse these Baffle users or Flash and Flee users like Kirolen will greatly appreciate these Lumions, as Shachi, Kirolen, and Halventic are a pretty good wall-breaking trio. I'm speaking from experience because Shachi can hit most of the defensive answers super effectively, actually can hit all of them, as well as Halventic other than... Actually, it does hit everything, so yeah. With that out of the way, let's talk about the conclusion and my thoughts on Kirolen. So Kirolen is in a position where I think if it gets a base stat buff, it will be a really good Lumion. But as of right now, no matter how hard it can hit or how much coverage it gets, Kirolen will stay near the B plus or B range of most tier lists because of its speed tier and its defenses. Kirolen really is the definition of a glass cannon, as no matter how hard you can hit, you will always be able to get walled and of course get destroyed by offensive pressure. So if you enjoyed the video and found something informational from this video, like the video and subscribe if you're into more these kind of videos. I have more videos yet to come, and also remember that Zuelong is still a dumpster fire.